Excuse me, miss. I love your curly hair. Can I paint your portrait?
Yeah.
Like right now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's go. What's your name and what's your biggest dream in life?
Well, my name is Jessie. I want to write and publish a book. The reason I love to write is that I care a lot about connecting with people and making isolating experiences feel less isolating.
Wow, amazing. When did you start writing?
About 2 years ago now, my mom, who was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, got really sick about 2 years ago. As she got sicker, I started to write about the experience of her being sick. I haven't really figured out the
I'm so sorry to hear.
Thank you. The past tense version of that. But I have two moms who are just pretty amazing people.
Yeah.
They were lesbians who met in the early 80s at an AA meeting.
Iconic.
Yeah, truly iconic women. They got together, fell in love, had children when lesbians weren't doing that. That just wasn't something that was happening. They used a sperm donor to have me the year that it became legally possible for two women to have access to a sperm donor. I started to interview them and I started to write about their stories and my story. I started to share these weekly essays on a Substack about the real-time experience of my mom choosing to stop treatment and eventually passing away, and the experience of sharing that made something that I had found to be really isolating much less isolating. Because as I started to share them, people started to read them, and I got to talk to people who were going through similar things or who could relate, and it completely changed the experience of going through loss for me.
Wow, that's amazing. Do you feel like writing helps you heal in a way?
Yeah, absolutely. It's unlike anything I've ever felt. But then beyond that, I think it's allowed me to take almost out-of-body experiences that I wouldn't know how to describe to someone else, wouldn't know how to share with the people I love, and find a way to share them. And that has been so healing. So my mom, she did something called medical aid in dying, which is for terminally ill patients who have less than 6 months to live. In some states, there's the option to choose to end your life with a series of medications.
Yeah.
And near the end of my mom's life, she decided to do that. And it was a crazy experience to help my mom think through how she would know when she was ready for that and how to make a decision like that. And it was unlike anything that anyone I knew had ever been through. And I wrote about it. I wrote in real time about the experience of my mom choosing to end her life that way.
Yeah.
It was so brave of her. And I don't know, it was the type of thing that I never would have known how to process that truly out-of-body experience if I hadn't been putting it in writing as it was happening.
I can't even fathom that. That is such a heavy thing to go through. Are you going through therapy?
So one of my moms is a therapist. And
oh, really? Oh,
when you grow up with therapist parents, first of all, that's just a type. Anyone who has therapist parents they'll tell you you'll meet someone else with a therapist parent and you'll just no. It's a thing. I don't know, I just in some ways I think that losing someone, it shouldn't feel like such a solitary experience, but it does. It's the only thing that everyone goes through is loss, and yet it still can make you feel so alone.
What would you say are some of the benefits of therapy?
Anytime you can create a non-judgmental space to truly feel your feelings, that's valuable.
So where did you grow up?
I grew up in the West Village, basically raised in a lesbian commune. That's a joke, but it's also not. My mom's had this incredibly tight-knit group of lesbian couple friends.
Yeah.
We're a family. I grew up really surrounded by such close family friends, literally all of whom were two women with children, sort of an abundance of female role models because of that.
So what was it like growing up in downtown Manhattan?
I think one thing that I have been thinking a lot about, I was 5, and my school and my family's apartment were really, really close to the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
After the towers fell, government officials were saying it's safe, you can stay. It's since become clear that that's actually not the case, and there have been really severe health ramifications for people who lived in that area.
Wow, that is horrible.
And my mom's cancer, for example, was a 9/11 related cancer.
Oh
So
my God.
there are resources that are available to people. There's something called the World Trade Center Health Fund, which that if you have a 9/11 related illness, you can get your care covered.
So your mom was a part of it?
You know, she received coverage by the World Trade Center Health Fund for her cancer, but also she did a lot of like advocacy work to try and expand the coverage of the World Trade Center Health Program. All the data that the World Trade Center Health Program uses is based off of responder cohorts. How 9/11 toxins impact people is based off of adult men. So my mom, and since then I have done a lot of advocacy work to try and expand the research cohorts and actually start including children. I testified before like a CDC committee about the need for expanding that, and I just think like there are a lot of illnesses that like are only going to impact women and children, like infertility, for example.
How was it testifying? Were you nervous?
It was over Zoom, which
Yeah.
like made it way less intimidating than if I had
Yeah,
like
for sure.
been in DC. When I was 13, I actually testified on behalf of same-sex marriage in front of the New Jersey Senate. Like, that is like the coolest thing I've ever done, hands down. My moms were going to testify for this Senate hearing on behalf of same-sex marriage in New Jersey, and like the sort of family folklore is that I heard that they were going to do that, and I was like, I want to do it. Like, I think I was more nervous as like a 26-year-old than I was as a 13-year-old.
If you could give your 18-year-old self advice, what would it be?
Talk to strangers.
Go to one.
But also I think that was like my mom's whole ethos. The running joke in my family was like, oh, mama made a friend on the train and now he's coming over for dinner. And like, I swear to God, that happened more than once. She just never lost that quality of herself. Like, she just was always talking to people, always looking to brighten people's days. I think I like pretty intentionally started trying to emulate that quality. Oh my God.
I just love genuine people. Like,
I feel like if you have good friends, you will always be okay.
what message do you think the world needs to hear right now?
Try and understand people who disagree with you. Understand where other people are coming from. Don't get stuck in your own version of reality such that you lose sight of trying to figure out what's true.
Yeah.
Sort of like talk to strangers, like just try and broaden your own perspective rather than narrowing it. And we lose sight of trying to understand what's true and
Yeah.
instead try and just confirm what we think is true.
All right, Jessie. Thank you
Okay.
for sharing your life with me. This is my interpretation of your life.
Oh my God. Wow. I can't believe you just did that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, wow.
This was so fun.
Thank you.
Thank you for being so vulnerable and open.
Oh my God.
Thank you, thank you, thank you,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank
All right.
you.
Have a good one.
Thanks. Wow.